it's Rogue. And in case you didn't know, this year I decided to prestige my two Survivor mains, Jeff and Michaela, together. I decided to get both of them to p100 at the same time because I feel connected to both of them and it felt good. Like the idea of grinding them together felt really good to me. But I noticed some issues inherent to p100ing a character of any kind. There's a number of things that I think need to be pointed out when you decide to commit to this kind of grind, and this also sparked other reflections on cosmetics, like on stuff that is not about game balance, but I want to talk about it in today's video. So first of all, and I think it's the most noticeable thing, and it's true for every character you may decide to p100, it's that you get nothing for that. Like, there is absolutely zero reason to getting a survivor to p100 as for a grind. If you're doing that because you need add-ons, whatever, then yeah, sure. But otherwise, you don't really get anything for it. You get their perks for everyone for prestigious 1, 2, and 3. You get the bloody cosmetics for prestigious 4, 5, and 6. And then you get the charms for prestigious 7, 8, and 9. Then it's just colorful badges. And I think the p101 is not my favorite color. Like, my favorite color is like the 97 in particular, and I know this because I prestiged the 100 Legion last year. It's a gigantic grind, and something way less time consuming than this, which was grinding for legacy, was rewarded with outfits. Legacy, I don't want legacy, I don't like legacy, but I would surely like if there was some kind of reward for this p100 grind, especially if we consider, and I said this before, that you can always p100 a character. If you really like the Death Slinger rifle for prestige 50, assuming there were rewards for p100ing a character, you can just get that Slinger to p50 in time. It can take you 5 days, 5 months, or 5 years, it doesn't matter. It's always gonna be there. So the fact that there is no reward for it is very underwhelming. It could be anything of sort. I think something every 5 levels after level 10 could be really cool. So that you're like, oh, I reached prestige 75 and now I can get the iridescent banner, whatever the shit. That would be cool. But there is also something else that really shows up while you grind the character. So during anniversary, and the anniversary is not over, so I'm still gonna go on, I got like 60 prestige levels between Jeff and Michaela. And guess how many party streamers I got in total for my trouble? I'll give a couple of seconds. Drum roll, 62. 62. So basically 1 party streamer per prestige. While I got 1,000 million brand new parts, I got a lot of syringes, I got a lot of map offerings, all stuff that is pretty detrimental to the game, that is very side-sided, you know? If you find a brand new part, that's a survivor-sided item. It's not something deemed as fair, air quotes. While something like party streamers or even just escape cakes that could be just used and not influence the game for anyone except for yourself in a purely cosmetic way, they are way rarer. So why do we still have these offerings as yellow and green? Why aren't they brown and yellow, or both brown or whatever? They don't influence the game in the slightest. Why are they so rare? It makes absolutely no sense to me. We should make powerful items rarer, while stuff that is just does nothing, it does absolutely nothing, can we just have it almost all the time for us, or what? Whenever an anniversary is far away, it's like April or May, me and my friends, we're just out of cakes, and we have like flowers or, you know, other bad blood point offerings to bring, which brings me to the fact that these offerings exist. Why do they exist? Why do we have offerings like the flowers? Why do we have brown blood point offerings that are barely worth buying? Every time I level up, especially as Survivor, because, you know, as Killer, when I leveled up Legion, every bloodbath was like, oh, it's more a sketch, oh, it's Mischief List, or it's Stolen Sketchbook. Like, it's all like good add-ons that I really enjoy, so I didn't really put too much attention into the junk that was actually there. But on Survivor, you get so many broken keys and add-ons for keys to show you ads. Like, I don't want to see ads, I'm not a rat. And brown blood point offerings and this and that, all stuff that really needs an overhaul. No one uses these add-ons, no one uses keys, no one uses maps, no one likes this stuff. And they are pricey and they clutter the blood web. They don't even need a rework, especially the offerings. We don't need a rework for missed offerings. They're terrible. We just need them gone. I can go in depth as I would like the offerings and items to be reworked. But honestly, if you just remove the shitty offerings that cluttered Bloodweb, I would be okay with that. I would be completely okay. Or just let us sell them back, because piling up Ardent Shriek, Wraith, or whatever the shit is, it's not gonna make me happy at all. It's not gonna make anyone happy. No one uses this shit. And if you use them, it's because you're really digging the ground under your feet because you are out of everything else. Or you're a troll, which is also possible. Moving on. We know that some characters are more popular than others. Michaela, for example, one of my mains, is a very popular character. There is a little problem, though, with that. Despite being surely a good-looking character, like an attractive white woman that can cater to the tastes of a lot of the population, Michaela is also popular because she got good cosmetics on release and she keeps getting good cosmetic consistently. She has gotten like 3 cosmetics in the last 2 Rift and cosmetics for the past, I think, 2 events, plus something else just randomly. And they were all pretty good. They were all a good mix and match. But other characters that had shitty wardrobes on release, and I'm looking at you, Gabe, and Hattie, they're not as popular. I wonder why. Some people say that, oh, they're just ugly. People don't like them because they don't look good. If you think that Hattie does not look good, I wonder what you usually fuck. Like, if she looks bad, okay, I expect you to share the bed with like a supermodel because I think she looks pretty good actually, but I mean, maybe that's just me. Anyway, the problem with Hattie was that on release, she had like 4 recolors of her horrible base outfit. And when I say horrible, I mean that base outfit is so garbage. Oh my god. She had like recolors of that. The swimsuit, like the diving scuba suit, that okay, it was cool. And then she got an outfit in the Amazon Prime reward that, in my opinion, it looked like she walked in a thrift store and just grabbed 3 things for free and left. It was bad. The situation was bad. And it doesn't matter how much you think Ade is cool or attractive or has a good backstory. No one wants to look all the time at a character that is so poorly dressed. And they kept giving her some not so tasty cosmetics, I think. Some are bangers, but just some. And I cannot blame people for choosing to main Michaela and Sable and Fang and characters that actually have a much better wardrobe. There is also another issue. I don't know if it's the case for Hadi, but it's surely one of the reasons why I pick my mains. It's that you need to relate to the character backstory. And the better the backstory, the better their lore, the more you're gonna relate to them, right? Well, some of the characters did not get a tome yet. I can understand for Sable and Unknown, they're pretty recent characters, but Hadi, Jeff, Adam Francis, Elodie, Drudge, these characters didn't get anything, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of survivors. And I'm not gonna spoiler, but there have been leaks about the characters that are gonna be the protagonists of the tome that is gonna open next month. And these characters, despite very popular, despite surely deserving an expansion on their lore, they already received one. Can we give something to the characters that have not gotten anything before we do seconds? Please, can we give them something? I would really like that, because it seems to me that it's always the same character that received a lot of good cosmetics, a lot of lore, a lot of expansion on their lore, and then there are the others who are just living off crumbs. Elodie is surely one of those, and she should be such a badass character. She also is another that has some pretty bad cosmetics. She also has some pretty good, but some are really terrible in my opinion. And I don't blame people for not making her more popular. You want a character with good looking cosmetics. Jeff receives very few, but thankfully the few ones that he receives are fantastic, so I'm not complaining. I would much more prefer Elodie or Hadi to receive a good cosmetic than Jeff, because Jeff has a lot of picks. I say this is a Jeff main. But my last complaint for today, I think, is I hope that when Jeff receives a tome, if this is ever to happen, it's not gonna be an appendix of Legion. As much as I love Legion, as much as I am very happy whenever Legion receives anything, which is very often, please make Jeff stand on his own legs, because a lot of his lore is intertwined to Legions. and I understand, and it makes sense, and I'm okay with that. But I sincerely hope his tome is going to be his tome, because he deserves it. He's a very relatable character, in my opinion. He's relatable because of the countercultures and all the small town mentality that he tried to escape and then be nostalgic and coming back. I relate so much to that, and that's one of the reasons why I chose Jeff to be my main, besides the fact that he's also an artist and has a very juicy okay, you understood. But yeah, please give him his own lore. When it's gonna be his time, please give him his own lore. Don't make it like, oh yeah, Jeff and Susie, Jeff and Frank. I don't. I do care about the relationship, but I also wanna, Jeff. So yeah, this is my ramble for today. It's a little bit of a lighter video. I don't have too much killer gameplay for this week. I'm very sorry about that, but I cannot play killer. The killer queue times are very long, and I am an extremely impatient person. I'm sorry. Once the event is over, I think I'm gonna take a little break, because grinding 40 prestiges in 3 weeks is kinda, burning me out a little, I'm not gonna lie. And then I'm gonna be back with killer videos and stuff. If I manage to play something meanwhile, you will definitely hear from me. But thank you for being here, and hope you're having a fantastic last week of the event.